Yes people, welcome to Man Knows Football. You're here with myself, Guni. I'm just making a video that I never planned to make, man, because we just got some breaking news. Big up to those who were tuned in the live with myself and Matisse. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go and check that out. But the news did break from Mr. Fabrizio Romano, and then Matt Law came out and backed the news that apparently Chelsea's quote-unquote #1 target, Julian Nagelsmann, will no longer be a candidate going forward for the Chelsea manager position. And this is huge news because from what we understand from the reports that we're seeing in the media, that the board were unanimously agreed that Julian Nagelsmann was their guy. Obviously, he's got a close relationship with Christopher Vivel, who is one of the technical directors at the club, part of that recruitment team. And apparently, Nagelsmann will not be manager of Chelsea Football Club, and it has come as a massive shock, which leaves one controversial favourite that the Chelsea fans, well, a portion of the Chelsea fans will not be happy to see due to past affiliations and perhaps one or two things on the pitch as well. Before we get into the main content, people, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. If you are new, leave your thoughts down there in the comments as well and give the video a thumbs up. Get us up in the algorithm. Just under an hour ago, we got the breaking news from Fabrizio Romano that Julian Nagelsmann will no longer be in the race to become Chelsea manager. He, for me, was my #1 candidate with those that were available, and now he will not be coming to the club. I'm not gonna lie, I feel disappointed, I feel a bit worried, and I've got a lot of things to say, in particular about the Chelsea board as well, how they're handling this so publicly in the media. We had these complaints over the summer. We was telling the people, listen, we need to stop being so public about business. There's so many repercussions that can happen. And personally, this is obviously speculation on my side. This is nothing confirmed. I'm just going with what I think here. But I think Julian Nagelsmann is looking at this situation. He feels that he's the perfect candidate for the job. He's got existing good relationships inside Chelsea Football Club for him to work with and for something to really build on. But for Chelsea to be still going so publicly for other managers at the same time, maybe that is what put him off, or maybe just the current state of affairs at the club was too much for him to handle and he wanted to protect his future a little bit. You know, he is 35 years old. He's got a long career ahead of him. Maybe he's just looking at it as too much of a risk at this point in his career. And if that's the case, it's probably a good thing that we never took Julian Nagelsmann. Let's have a look at the tweet that came from Fabrizio Romano. It says, exclusive: Julian Nagelsmann has now withdrawn from the race to become the new Chelsea coach. It looks like it's his final decision. German coach is said to no longer be available after multiple rounds of talks. Nagelsmann was the top candidate for the job. So you heard it there from Mr. Fabrizio Romano, and up until then, everybody and their dog was convinced that this guy was going to be the next Chelsea manager, with all the circumstances considered. Yes, it did divide opinion in the fan base, but I think it was unanimously more accepted than the latter in Mauricio Pochettino, who now looks definitely a favourite to become the next manager of Chelsea Football Club. There were some talks about Vincent Kompany as well. We're going to come on to that one a bit later. But also, Mr. Matt Law did back up Fabrizio Romano. So two of some of the most reputable journalists when it comes to the transfers. Matt Law when it comes to Chelsea Football Club in particular. But Fabrizio Romano, we know all across the board this man has his connection. So let's see what Matt Law has had to say about this situation. Big development as reported by Fabrizio Romano. I've had confirmation that Julian Nagelsmann no longer considers himself to be in contention for the Chelsea job and will not be part of the process moving forward. Very good news for those who want Pochettino. This is shocking to me, people. I'm just as shocked and taken aback as you. So the rumours are the actual two last options are Pochettino and Vincent Kompany. Chelsea Football Club's final managerial options in 2023 is Mauricio Pochettino and Vincent Kompany. Now, here's my thing. I was not Enrique's biggest fan. I'm still not his biggest fan. However, the fact that Vincent Kompany is being considered ahead of this man is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal. And I highly disagree with that. I highly disagree with that. Yes, Kompany has promoted Burnley. He's playing some attractive football over there. But this is his first season. Why are we being so knee-jerk? This is a Frank Lampard part 2. It's a Frank Lampard 2.0 because we saw him do his thing at Derby. He didn't get him promoted. He didn't win anything. Following season, he was at Chelsea. This time, Vincent Kompany does get Burnley up to the Premier League. Does that warrant him for a top job? Does it warrant him to get a club as massive as Chelsea back to the standard that we needed to go to? We can't afford to be getting these managerial appointments wrong. We cannot. The next appointment, we've got to get it spot on. Otherwise, we're finished as a club for a very, very long time. Which brings me on to Mauricio Pochettino. As you guys know, when I thought the candidacy was going to be between Nagelsmann and Pochettino, Nagelsmann for me was my preferred choice. But at the same time, I also said to you lot, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Pochettino is a bad manager, because I don't think he's a bad manager. We know what to expect from him in his time in the Premier League. Did a great job at Southampton, did a very good job at Tottenham. And when you look at the youth players that he's developed and where some of those are now, they're undeniable, if we're being completely honest. He managed Vincent Kompany. I keep doing this. He managed Virgil van Dijk at Southampton, Toby Alderweireld, Luke Shaw, Sadio Mane. Who else am I thinking of? Son, Kane. So many of these guys have come up through Pochettino and have had a flourishing career. Well, not so much in the Tottenham case, but world-class players in terms of Harry Kane, but have got nothing to show for it. But outside of that, many other of his of the players that he's worked with have gone on to have fantastic careers. I've got no question in terms of his squad developing ability, especially with a young squad. And when you look at the profile of our squad now, it's a very youth core dominated squad. 100%. We need somebody who can come in and not only get a message through to these guys, but to be able to develop them as well into the potential that we see in them. The reason why we invested in these players. I don't think Pochettino's a bad shout. I really don't. Is there guarantee it's going to be Pochettino to be the next Chelsea manager? Right now, I'll be a fool to say yes, because the amount of twists and turns that happen with Chelsea Football Club, nothing is ever guaranteed. And in this situation is no different. But apparently, the candidates that are left, Pochettino, Vincent Kompany, for me, very, very underwhelming. This is so underwhelming. The managerial pool that's available to be hired now, for me, it's a bad time to be going in for managers. But unfortunately, this is the pit that we're in, and we're going to have to choose from this group of managers, to be honest with you. And one of the best candidates has been removed, and it seems to me, it smells to me like it's the manager's own decision, to be honest with you. And can I really blame him? No. But in hindsight, it makes me feel like if this is his approach, he was never the right man for the job anyway. He didn't have the balls. Although, like I said with Enrique, this guy wanted to come in straight away. He wanted to manage the games against Real Madrid. Regardless of what I think of his management, I have to respect that. And that's the kind of mentality that I would prefer at Chelsea, rather than somebody who's shirking away from a challenge, if this is to be true. But Pochettino, it's going to be a huge divider. And a lot of people will say he failed at PSG or whatever, but I'm not going to lie to you. To me, that smells of a cover of the fact that he was manager at Tottenham. We don't want old Tottenham managers. You know, it depends on how you see it. For me, I think he'll be a decent manager. Do I think he's going to take us forward long term at Chelsea? No. We're a club that needs to win. We need to be winning trophies very soon. Next season, bare minimum for me, I need top 4. Bare minimum. And even a trophy would be great, because listen, we need to start picking up our standards again, especially with what happened this season. Will it be a massive ask for any manager to come in and get any kind of success with this squad? As of now, yes. We haven't seen what's going to happen towards in the summer window. We haven't seen what's going to happen towards the end of the summer window. So we don't know the squad we're going to be dealing with. There's going to be a lot of outgoings. There's going to be a lot of incomings. So there's a lot to watch for at Chelsea Football Club. Speaking of outgoings, I'm going to do a video. We're going to do one. It's going to be called Exodus. Moving on from Chelsea. Obviously, if you lot know Bob Marley with the Exodus song, I did make a little pun out of that, but make sure you look out for that, because we're going to be talking about potential departures, and there are a lot. There are a lot of potential departures, and it's looking realistic that some of us can get some of the usual culprits that we want out of the club finally out this summer. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here. For me, it does look like Pochettino is a favourite. I cannot rule out Not Vincent van Dijk, Vincent Kompany, Guni. Get it right. I cannot rule out Vincent Kompany, although for me, I feel that that's not going to happen. I feel that's going to be very unlikely. But several other names that we might see pop up. We might hear an Amorim. We might even hear Jose Mourinho. He's a name that's been called out from the fan base for a very long time. And another thing is, he's a manager that you know, if he's offered the opportunity to come to Chelsea Football Club, he is going to jump at the opportunity at the Chelsea job. There is no doubt about that. Chelsea is still very much in Mourinho's heart. But in terms of managerial, whether the ownership want to go down that direction, that remains to be seen. But people, let me know what you think about this bombshell that we got today. Would you be happy with Poch as manager? I see quite a lot of Chelsea fans are, and they make very good points as to why he could come into this Chelsea team and really just rise them out of the mud. But for me, can he reach us to the promised land in several years in terms of winning titles and being successful in multiple different competitions? I don't know. But let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. Who do you think will end up as Chelsea manager? It might not necessarily even be Pochettino, but who do you think the other candidates are and is most likely to get the job? How do you feel about Nagelsmann being excluded or potentially self-excluding himself from the Chelsea managerial race? And also I've got to ask you as well, we're going to be on that road to, well, we are on that road to 20k, and we need to put our foot down on that gas. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Smash the thumbs up as well. Like the video so you get us up in the algorithm. Leave your thoughts down there in the comments. As always, it's good to be back. Up the Chelsea, uncertain times, always drama going on at this club, but I hope whoever we hire is vastly successful at Chelsea Football Club, has a very successful pre-season, is able to instill their idea of football, bring some stability, bring some confidence back to Stamford Bridge. That's desperately what's needed. Regardless of who your managerial candidate is, we can all unanimously agree we all want that to be the end product. You know what I'm saying? So people, once again, big up yourselves, and Gareth Southgate, get out of England, I beg you. Bless.